Obstürmt oder steigt,
und die Sonne uns sagt, der Tag glühend heiß oder eiskalt.
Hey YouTube, this is Strongest Shoots 4, also known as Globulus. I've got a, let's see, a 1, 2, 3, yep, it's only 5 players. Yeah, it's a 5-player, excuse me, 5-player free-for-all, last man standing battle. Let's see, I brought 3 Sacred Band Cavalry, they're gold. Brought 2 Pellinis, they're also gold. I brought 3 Balearic Slingers, I think it's 3. Yeah, 3 Balearic Slingers, I think they are gold attack and silver defense. I could be wrong though. And then I brought 4 Sacred Band infantry, also gold. Let's see, we've got, by the way, this is 15k denarii. And here we have a rebel player. Capitan Herpes. Nice name. Anyway, he's got, let's see, 2 Scythian horse archers, 3 Sarmatian mercenaries, 2 Cilician pirates, Sternae mercenaries. I see 2 hoplite mercenaries, several of these Judean zealots, 1, 2, 3, it's like 5 of them, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bowmen. Let's go see the Greeks here. They're under the command of Lieutenant Gen, I'm assuming that means general. He's got, let's see, 6 hoplite, or 6 Spartan hoplites. Looks like he's got 1, I think it's 3 Cretan archers. And then he's got 1, 2, 3, 6 armored hoplites. Let's take a look at, I think there is 6 players in this now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, with the Scipii Roman player under the command of Commando, he's got 3 archer auxilia. I got war dogs for 2 war dogs, 3 urban cohorts, and 3 Praetorian cav. We got the Scipii, I have the Seleucids over here under Triple H. Former wrestler. My wrestler was Randy Savage, but anyway, has 1, 2, looks like 3 sky, yeah, no, 4 sky chariots. No cataphracts, that's kind of strange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Silver Shield Legionnaires, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 archers. And there is another player, but I don't know where he's at. There he is. Can't see his forces, he's got them all hidden here. But under the command of Sit on My Hand is the Julii Roman. All I can see is his general unit right now, which is a Praetorian cav unit. I think he ends up having like 4 or 5 Praetorian cav and a load of infantry, a load of urbans. I was starting to go for the Seleucid player. But then I got to really looking at the flag, because I'm like, wait a minute, they're rebels. So I ended up having to turn. If I start running toward the rebels here to close the distance, like I said, at the time I was thinking it was Greece, or it was the Seleucids, so I was kind of like, okay, well, he's Herpes here decided to say, you know, don't double team me basically. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it was him until he said that. I would have thought they were the Seleucids. I wasn't even really paying attention. But I do turn. I noticed the Scipii is going to fight the Seleucid player. The Seleucid player, the reason I was going to go after him was because he dropped out during the game. disconnector or whatever you want to call it. So it's a CPU enemy. So I eventually decided to swing over here and help the skip the eye get rid of the Seleucid army here. And wherever he's at, the Julii player, you can't see him right there. He is. He just kind of sits there. He doesn't really do anything for most of the game, up until toward the end, when the only armies that can fight him are kind of banged up. Let's go over here and take a look at the Greeks and the rebels here. Really good strategy by the rebels, just trying to surround and pick off some of these Greeks, because right now they're in so tight of a formation. If he charged, he'd get slaughtered. And it's really pretty smart. He's got his Greek archers. Now here they're taking a beating. I guess they're just taking a beating in general. But that's the first order of business. Take out the Cretan archers. That way you take out the range defense of a Greek army here. I probably would have bought cavalry just to provide a distraction, because it's hard enough to win, but it is a last man standing game. But it's hard enough to win as Greece without mobility. Like I've said before in my games, but the only way that I've seen people win with Greece is if they keep their formations tight, keep all the weaknesses from coming to light with their lack of mobility. Now, Cantabrian circles, I've never been a big fan of those. And this is why. I mean, he's been running around here for maybe a minute and a half, and his horse archers are already tired. And the same over here. I mean, they're just tired. But he did a smart move getting on the flanks here with the archers, just slowly picking off the Greeks here. Now you can see I'm moving up on the Seleucid army. Scipio's already engaged, hitting some of the calves, taking out the war dogs and an archer unit, maybe even a chariot unit as well. I'm not one that moves in fast, especially with a pike army. I try to keep my guys in formation as much as possible, because you never know when the bad guys are going to come running. But here, I just use my slingers and I just mow these guys all down. But like I said, I'm trying to help the Scipio player get rid of the CPU army. Now the Greek player, I thought this was a huge mistake. He split his army, and that made his army just, when you lose cohesion like this, the Greek army, and you're trying to chase around all these guys, you're not going to do anything. And here he's got this guy chariots coming from behind. I would imagine the Greeks would have been that. And over here, they're just getting picked apart. I didn't understand why he split his force like that. Here I'm sending in a couple of Sacred Band cav to get rid of this archer here, so I won't take fire on my slingers. But me and Scipio are doing really Scipio has done most of the work here. I really don't think he needed me. But the nice guy that I am, I went ahead and decided to bring my army up and just give him a hand here. I mean, I got rid of some of these couple of these chariot units, and here I'm sending my cav in to just get rid of these archers for him. Make it a little easier for him. So I just kind of do an in run around, if you want to call it that, and eventually I bring my army or bring my cav back here. I lose like, I don't know, But I see that he's got the situation under control now because there's no archers firing at him. So I just kind of, like I said, I bring my guys back, bring my cav back. Of course, here I have a Silver Shield Legionnaires trying to chase me down. And there's a group of archers here, but they probably won't last long. The Greeks over here with the rebels. Like I said, the Greek player I thought made a huge mistake by splitting his army like this. You know, it's just not a good thing to do if you're playing as one of the Greeks. Look at this, he's got 16, 17, even his Spartan hoplites are down to 29. So he just, you know, when he split his army, it kind of limited his options. I mean, he couldn't really counterattack once he was out of formation like that, and that just gave the mobile, you know, this mobile-based army of the rebel player here, you know, the opportunity to just annihilate, you know, a piece at a time. And we almost got the solutions done, or yeah. I peel off a sacred band. Now, of course, I've got my slinger just mowing these guys down. Here I'm coming after the archers. I send my the unit, the sacred band unit that was not engaged. I send them after these archers to finish them off. And of course, like I said, Julii just sitting back here, not doing anything. He wants to camp. But that's fine. I mean, if you want to camp, you know, whatever works. I'm not one on camping. Yeah, here I'm chasing down these Silver Shield Legionnaires, trying to finish them off. Figure I don't really need my cav to take them, so I bring my cav back. Because I really didn't lose, but maybe what, 4 cav total. It's not a huge deal here. I still got a pretty intact army. And here I tried to get my slingers to stop firing so they wouldn't hit my own men, but unfortunately my slingers decided they wanted to keep firing. Got an extra volley off, and well, that kind of screwed my sacred bands here. Now a discussion arises here in a moment with the Julii. You know, he says he wants to. Well, I told him I was going to come for him because he was just sitting there. But the Scipii decides to brave this, and he decides he wants to go and fight the Julii here. I think he sent the war dogs over here to see what the, you know, kind of like a scouting party, to see what the Julii player had. Might get a glimpse of here in a minute. So here's my sacred bands going against these silver shields. So this won't take long. I killed 2 of them. Now I'm going to swing my sacred band cav around, and I'm just going to hammer and anvil these guys. Smash, of course. They start running, so
chase them from the field and give
I really didn't have to do this, but I did anyway, and just got a few more kills for my part. And like I said, you know, still have Julii back here just kind of sitting. But it's decided that, like I said, it's decided that Julii is going to fight the Scipii player here in a moment, and I get to go fight the rebels. But of course, like I said, my army being a pike army, I move it a little more slowly. So by the time I reach the rebels here, the Scipii and Julii fight's well underway. So you know what? I'm going to fast forward this a minute for you guys. I will cut this right now and come back when it's actually doing something. But you're going to ask why I moved my forces back here. Move them back because I didn't want to fight the Scipii and get caught by the Juliad player from behind. So I moved my forces over here, not necessarily hoping they would fight, but I wanted to kind of gauge exactly what the Juliad player had, because I couldn't see him for most of the game. So that's why I pulled my forces back here. But anyway, I will come back when there's some action going on, guys. Okay, guys, we're back here now. Juliad player, sit on my hand, or whatever his name was, moves his army up. Now we can see it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 urban cohorts, 4 Praetorian cav, and looks like 5 archers. So typical standard Roman army. It's usually what clans teach. At least that's what I've noticed. He plays defense most of this game, which I don't understand, because he really doesn't need to. He's got a Roman army. He's got some mobility to it, the Praetorian cav. He's got these little tanks up front, so, you know, the urban cohorts. So, I mean, it's just, it doesn't make much sense. I mean, there's a lot of maneuverability here if you utilize it properly. But he played defense almost this entire game. Nice destroyer there. I just wonder why he was firing first. That would have made sense if he was still firing on his cav. But as you can see, the Scipii player has no cavalry. And there I'm slowly in the background, slowly moving toward the rebels here. Well, that's a good peanut shot. Wow. Juliad's tearing him up with his peanut. Wow. Look at that. Now we're going to tear down the archers. What I noticed from sit on my hand is he's got an understanding of the basic tactics of the game. He seems to have a pattern, I guess is the best way to describe it. He doesn't really, I've played him twice now. I mean, he plays pretty solid,
shows his value.
but
He is filled only
you know,
by a desire
it
to
just
save
shows
his own
that
skin.
the way he plays, it just seems like he doesn't really go much past the basic concepts of tactics of this game.
General has been killed and his men lose heart.
No, like I said, he does a good job. I'm not going to sit here and, you know, dog him saying he's doing a bad job or whatever, but
Drive them from
you know,
the
he does a good job when he does play. He does play defensive most games I've played him in. But he seems to like to play defensive every time I've seen him play, which is twice. I mean, I guess you really can't make a judgment on that, but you know, just my observation. Now here I split up one of my slinger units with half my infantry on the left side here, and the other half, and my infantry and 2 slinger units on the right side. My cav kind of supporting the flank. Now I didn't really have a plan here, except I was trying to run him out of missiles. Because I figure if I could run him out of missiles, he wouldn't stand a chance against me. My cav would probably tear what he has to pieces. My sacred bands, you know, they could probably, you know, tear him up pretty good. Mainly because rebels have lower morale, so they break a lot easier. Now you see the Julii here. Slowly coming forward. I bring my cavalry back here and regroup him. I tried to chase down some of his cavalry units, which I shouldn't have. After I look back at it and see it now. I mean, I shouldn't have done it simply because, you know, where's my troops out, and his. I noticed that he seems to be out of arrows, or he's just not firing. No, I think he's just not firing this one. Yeah, he's waiting on this too. see Julii coming, so I move my army. I try to get out of the way. I don't want to get sandwiched between them. Now here's a smart move on his part. He come in with his horse archers and start charging down my slingers. I did send in the sacred bands back to assist. So he's kind of got me in a awkward position here. I bring some of my sacred band cab up to support as well in case I need to. Here he does kind of catch me off guard. Good hit and run stuff here. Good stuff. I got to give him credit with this rebel army here. He does a really good job of hit and run maneuvers during this fight. Which is a great job. The Julii player, you know, like I said, I moved my army over to where I would be on the flanks of both the Julii and the rebel army, just because I wasn't sure which one I was going to be fighting, if I was going to be fighting any of them. Julii didn't seem to want to fight me if my back wasn't to him, I guess, would be a good way to describe how this fight kind of evolved. But his army's virtually intact. I think he lost a few cohorts here. But otherwise, his army's pretty much intact. Just need some horse archers here. I think I catch him, yeah. Here comes this huge Praetorian charge. I see it coming, so I withdraw my sacred band cav. But no, like I said, by positioning on the flank of, you know, the Julii right and the rebel left, it puts me in a position to defend or strike against either one if the need becomes necessary. Really, what we're going to see here, like I said, this battle kind of evolves into a fight between the Julii and the rebels. He did manage to run off the Praetorian cav, did a few casualties. So yeah, I'm just kind of moving in. I'm not sure exactly who I'm going to be fighting here, so just want to keep my formation tight so that way, you know, if I did get attacked by either one of them, I'd be able to respond quickly to the hot spot. But I believe it's eventually decided that I'll sit it out so they can duke it out against one another. So we're gonna see a battle between the Julii and the rebels here. As you can see, I mean, the Julii cav, just monster advantage. They're gonna really make a difference in this fight, I think. I didn't really watch this fight. I kind of left the computer for a few minutes, so I didn't really watch the fight. So this is really kind of the time I'm watching here. Why he's withdrawing, the way he's withdrawing. Looks like maybe he's trying to, the rebel player's trying to trap the cavalry in the corner toward the edge of the map. I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to do. Well, I guess it wouldn't be the edge of the map, it's way over there. It just seems like he's trying to chase down and corner the Praetorian cav, keep it away from the main army. Interesting tactic. I've never seen anybody use that tactic before. We should have kept something back to try to fight the rest of the Roman army here. I mean, he's kind of just chasing around the Roman cav wearing his army out. And these crazy horse archers. Yeah, he's just done a complete run around the rebel lines. Kind of an interesting thing to watch. I'm just forming up just in case. I'm still not sure of Julia's intentions because he hadn't really fought anybody during the fights, during the early stages of this battle. So I really wasn't sure if I should maybe peel off a couple units just in case, which I ended up doing. And here they are doing a pretty good job on these Praetorians. Chased them down. See that cav unit's a little bit damaged. That one only lost 1, 2. This one's only lost 2. He's catching these though, but he's not. His army's probably worn, yeah. He's exhausted, tired. I mean, it's just a matter of time before the Roman player comes up. It's going to be pretty much over. Yeah, I thought I actually brought my slingers up. I was going to hit some of these Julii Praetorian cav, but I kind of changed my mind because it looked like the rebel army. It looked like he was going to be kind of overrun. I wanted to kind of even the cavalry odds a little bit. I mean, he just got loads of cav. A lot more than I can handle. His army is just tired. I mean, there's just nothing he can do about this. He's charging in just out of desperation, I think, by this point. Which kind of worried me, because I didn't think he would inflict a lot of damage on the Julii player. So that kind of worried me. Julii had a huge cavalry advantage on me. So that kind of worried me a little bit. Here, it's just a big chain rout. I mean, the rebel army's just gone. There's nothing they can do now. Here I am sitting over here patiently waiting. Well, it's not waiting, you know. I guess there's still 3 rebel units that are being routing. Let's fast forward just a few more seconds. Yeah, I repositioned my army to where it was my original formation, where I had my Poenis guarding my slingers from the rear. He didn't have his, at first I didn't see his cav, because he had mixed them in with his urbans, so, which is a good idea, you know, kind of protects him from my slingers. I noticed he's starting to fire his archers, so I put my cav back. here is something. He's got a couple of units glitching here. At least that's what he says. I don't really know exactly. I mean, the Praetorian Cav, yeah. I say they're definitely glitching. I don't understand why. No player's going to order that. I mean, they're running right into my safety beans. So I just go ahead and charge and make them route. And actually, that did a lot of good because it evened the cavalry odds. It gave me my 3 sacred band captains with great Marines. Right now, we got this pretty decent infantry fight going on here. And now I make a charge into his Praetorians. I believe I peel off the Bohemian to assist here in a moment. I've got my slingers also firing into the back of his general here. I've got everybody firing at all my slingers. Looks like they're firing at the Praetorians. Here, I just chase him down. He tries to get him out of there, but I just go ahead and chase him down. And once I get the cavalry advantage, you know, I can completely utilize it. It's really a pretty good fight. This cavalry does exceptionally well. Like I said, that one glitchy Praetorian caveat is that it did look glitchy to me. My second band infantry, and that was it. I mean, he just, there was nothing more he could really do with it. But it did even the odds for me. Now here he's trying to take out my general. You're out, but I do turn my pikes. I got these ponies coming in to assist. And I did forget to turn my pikes back around here. But my son's nice enough to remind me. I was watching it because I was kind of focused on what my cab was doing. Yeah, here I eventually did turn my pikes back around, and it just starts kind of a chain right down his line here. So I was going to charge, but then I realized there were 40 of them. Well, maybe not. So I send my weenies over. I'm going to hammer it in with this part of the Roman line. And there they go. Let the route begin. I see the engagement here, so I send my sacred bands in. Tired by now, so it's not really they're probably these cohorts are going to do a number on my sacred beans. But this Bohemia unit, give it a lot of credit. It held up against Orban cohorts for a very decent amount of time. Yep, and there's the final round, I believe. So let's go ahead and fast forward this. There we go. I end up winning the battle. Like I said, sit on my hand. If you look at his kills, it looks like he did a lot. But really, he had 2 fights the first half of the battle. He was just kind of sitting there. But like I said, to each his own. The rebels did an awesome job. Capitan here, he did a really good job. He used every unit to its advantage. I mean, you got units that are good at, like specialty units, I guess you could call them. Like you got Cretan archers, you got, Illyrian mercenaries, Balearic slingers. Those units have their own distinct advantage, and Capitan here used every unit to that advantage. He did a hell of a job, really. Didn't see much of him. Commando, he did a pretty good job. He had to deal with a CPU Seleucid army, and then fought against the Julii. So, and of course the Seleucid. Anyway, looking at the kills here, my cavalry, which is generally, they usually do get most of the kills when I play. Does it again. So, anyway, good game to all my opponents here. Remember, people, always play with honor and bleed your enemies.